anyone share with everyone? What do you think children read at home? What material? What kind of materials? Textbook. Any other answer? Comics. Okay. Magazines. Storybooks. Okay. All right. With who? With their siblings? Friends? Parents? On their own? Alright. Okay, you think that they read with their parents? No?
Not so.
Not so? Alright. How do you feel about it? Do you think if they would read with you, do you think they would love it? Alright, so prior to conducting the project with the members of our panel and also with Justina, I have conducted an interview with the year 1 pupils of my school. I have interviewed 17 pupils of year 1 last year. They are in year 2 now. On the 20th September 2012, I've asked them exactly the same questions that I've put there on the handout. So let us listen to the responses by the pupils. Buku apa? Buku bahasa Inggris? Susu? Buku baca susu? Oh, pandainya. Baca kuda? Macam mana baca kuda? Kuda. Iya, coba bacain. Ayam. Baca ayam. Oh, macam mana baca ayam? Buku apa? Buku matematik. Baca apa? Baca buku. Buku apa? Buku matematik. Baca buku pijak. Oke. Kakak. Baca dengan siapa? Abang. Siapa kawan membaca selalu? Siapa yang kawan membaca di rumah? Sendiri? Selalunya siapa yang kawan membaca di rumah? Kakak. Baca dengan ibu bapak kah? Dengan kawan-kawan kah? Dengan kakak abang kah? Atau membaca sendiri? Dengan kakak. Kakak membaca dengan mama bapak atau baca sendiri? Responses of the human pupils that I've interviewed. Based on the interviews that I've conducted on 17 pupils of SK Kunak 2, I find that for most of the children, reading is associated with spelling words, studying, and doing schoolwork. Spelling words, that's why they give that word susu, and they're associating reading with the mechanics of reading, which is spelling and identifying the words. And for the children, reading materials mean textbooks, exercise books, school books mostly. And the children mostly read, 49% of them read with their siblings, 43% read alone, and only 8% read with their parents. And how do the children feel about reading with their parents? 60% say they like it, 30% are not sure, 10% don't like it. I find this particularly interesting because when you look at the previous slide, only 8% of them read with their parents, but when we ask them, did they like the idea of reading with their parents? 60% responded with yes. I like to read with my parents. I think it's fun. So, okay. Yeah. All right. But after I conducted the interview, I feel that I need to do something because I don't really like what I discovered actually. For me, because I grew up, I love reading, so I tend to take these things for granted. But when I conducted the interview, I realized that not every child has the same love for reading. It's not just something that everyone is born with. Some children we need to instill that love for reading. So reading is supposed to be fun. So that encouraged me to carry on with this project with ELTDP and Justina, so that we can do something to change the perception of reading. Okay. This is what Albert Einstein says. If you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. I understand that through that interview with the parents, I can conclude that most parents, they want their children to excel in examination. Who doesn't? Which parents don't want? So they want their children to be intelligent. That's why at home, when they ask their children to read, they will be showing textbooks, academic books to the children. But actually, according to Einstein, a genius, if you want your children to be intelligent, you should read them fairy tales. So fairy tales is not associated with mathematics or science. It is associated with reading for pleasure. So there must be something very important.
Too big. Too big. Too big. Too big.
downstairs. She went upstairs. Yeah? There were how many beds? 3 beds. 1, 2, 3. How many pillows? 1. Shops. They read storybooks at home. Do they read and share stories with their parents? Do they enjoy reading and learning with their parents? And are parents more involved in the children's reading? Yeah? Alright, so are you ready to watch the video and see whether your predictions are correct? Very good. Jika ada membaca di rumah? Ada. Ada. Baca dengan siapa?
Bapak dengan mama.
Bapak dan mama. Ada membaca di rumah? Siapa bawa membaca di rumah?
Ibu.
Ibu. Ini ada membaca di rumah?
Ada.
Siapa bawa?
Mama.
Mama. Baca di rumah? Ada. Membaca dengan siapa?
Ibu bapak.
Ibu bapak. Siapa buat nih? Ibu. Bila dia buat? Semalam. Ada membaca di rumah? Ya. Dengan siapa?
Ibu bapak.
Ibu bapak. Siapa nih? Siapa belikan? Hah?
Mama.
Mama. Bila mama beli? Semalam. Bawa baca apa?
Cerita.
Cerita. Cerita apa?
Kartun.
Tentang nenek. Apa cerita nenek tuh? Apa cerita? Ada buku? Tidak ada buku. Ada juga buku. Oh, dalam buku tuh ada nenek-nenek lah, cerita nenek-nenek dalam buku. Oh, macam baca apa? Buku cerita. Cerita tentang apa? Sang singa dengan sang tikus. Baca buku ni? Sudah. Okay? Seronok? Suka baca apa?
Buku cerita.
Buku cerita. Cerita tentang apa? So, what do you think? Do you notice any change in the way the children perceive reading? What is different this time?
The kind of materials reading.
Yeah, they start to read their parents. They start to enjoy reading. They know that reading is not. They don't limit reading materials to textbooks.
Reading materials.
Yeah, school books anymore. So I can conclude that the parents had done their homework after the workshops. Okay, another interview. This is my mother's story. How LEF workshops have changed the way I bond my son. Let's watch. Selamat petang Puan. Boleh Puan perkenalkan diri sedikit sebanyak?
Tahun lepas satu excellent. Sekarang 2 diligent.
Tahun lepas Puan ada menyertai bengkel LEF kan di sekolah kita.
Ya.
Kedua-dua bengkel tu Puan hadirilah kan?
Ya.
Apa pendapat Puan tentang bengkel tersebut?
Bengkel tu memang sangat bagus. Sebab sebelum ini anak saya tidak minat belajar dengan saya. Even kalau kita tanya dia mana lagi suka belajar sama ibu atau sama abah, dia cakap dengan abah. Sebab dengan abah dia boleh main. Abah itu cakapnya dengan ibu straight. Dia ada istilah main. Tapi selepas bengkel dia lagi berminat belajar dengan ibu. Sebelum ini kalau ditanya mana suka belajar di rumah atau di sekolah, dia langsung belajar di rumah. Dia stres lah sebab kita selalu paksa belajar. Jadi setelah bengkel banyak cara-cara, langkah-langkah macam mana mau menarik minat. Jadi tidak sia-sia setelah bengkel.
Puan macam mana pula dengan perubahan terhadap pembelajaran anak? Adakah Puan menyadari apa-apa peningkatan kah atau apa-apa perubahan?
Sangat berubah. Satu, dia minat sudah belajar. Sebut saya belajar dia lah macam dulu. Sebut belajar muka menangis lah, banyak alasan. Sekarang sebut belajar automatically belum lagi sempat saya ada masa untuk belajar, dia dulu sudah. Dia dulu dari saya. Dan sekarang yang paling syoknya anak saya berminat sudah pasal vision. Dia banyak menghabiskan masa dengan belajar.
Pada pendapat Puan, apa yang mungkin membawa perubahan ini? Adakah ini disebabkan oleh bengkel itu?
Ya, sangat. Sangat bersyukurlah ada program di sekolah. Satu, dia boleh mengajarkan ibu bapa macam mana teknik yang betul mengasuh belajar. Kedua, kita boleh tengok macam mana potensi yang kita belajar, kita boleh nilai.
Jadi Puan memang praktikkanlah apa yang dipelajari di bengkel.
Sangat. Sekarang Puan sekarang hanya untuk anak, tapi anak saya yang kedua yang masih kecil pun dia sudah cepat paham. Saya selalu bawa nyanyi. Dia kecil pun boleh sudah tangani.
Jadi antara aktiviti yang Puan jalankan di rumah bersama dengan anak-anak,
saya bawa mereka bercerita, menyanyi, berorgan floral. Di samping itu yang paling syoknya, bukan kalau anak saya belajar, saya sekaligus belajar.
Apa harapan Puan terhadap bengkel ini?
Saya sangat berharap bengkel ini diteruskan. Sebab saya berharap lagi banyak student yang berjaya.
Ada apa-apa lagi yang Puan ingin nyatakan, cadangan, komen?
Saya harap semua ibu-ibu yang khususnya yang ada di Malaysia bekerja sama-sama untuk anak kita maju.
Terima kasih Puan.
And after listening to the responses, actually I feel more strongly. I have come to the conclusion that this actually had to be done as early as possible. Because clearly, at 10-year-old, they still associate reading with studying, and their reading materials are still limited to school books and textbooks. But what disturbed me the most is the responses to the question, what do you feel when you read? Some of them say they are happy when reading, but most of them, they don't even know what to feel when they read. So clearly there is no concept of reading for pleasure. And the boy and the girl, when they said they are scared of reading, that shouldn't be. That had prompted me to think, what have I done as a teacher? What am I doing the wrong thing here? What do you do when you read? I memorize the things that you ask me to memorize. The English. I'm the English teacher. I ask them to memorize. Instead of telling them that you should love reading, you should enjoy reading, instead of instilling in them the love for reading, I ask them to memorize. And then, afraid of examination. What have I done wrong? I've done something terribly wrong here. I feel like I have let the children down. I should have, but it's not too late. They are still 10-year-old. But I do believe that this kind of intervention activities should be done as early as possible. Because I don't want the children to be left out. I don't want my students to be left out. While all the other children are exploring the world in their imagination through books, my children are saying that they find reading is not fun and boring. So these are some of the reflections while conducting the workshops in my school. Before that, we have our doubts. We are afraid that the parents will like the idea, especially because it is a project under the British Council, so they might have the idea that it's going to be conducted in English. So we are afraid that they will be uncomfortable, they will be intimidated, and we have some obstacles because we want the parents to be as comfortable as possible. So so I have discussed with my mentor and also the members of the English panel. We want to provide refreshments at the end of the workshop, but we don't know where we can find the funding for that. So during the planning of the workshops, we found some solutions to our problems. I talked to my GB, and I'm very blessed and lucky to have such a supportive GB. And he said, just come up with your working paper, and don't worry about the funding. The school will fund the refreshments and any expenses that you need for the workshop. And then we discover some very interesting things. Initially we thought that the parents would be intimidated by English. So we tried to do it in VM as much as possible. So during the first workshop, do you remember the handout that I showed you just now? I give the rhymes in VM, all in VM. I didn't give them any handouts that contain rhymes in English. But to our pleasant surprise, we put the parents into 6 groups. Only 2 of the 6 groups are presented in VM. The rest of them do it in English. And they gave us the feedback afterwards that they want more English input because they also want to learn English themselves. So they are not intimidated by English at all. They want to learn. So that's why in the second workshop, I give them the choice. They can use English, they can use VM, whatever that they like. And then after the workshop, how did I feel? What did I learn? What did I feel? How did I feel? What did I learn? As an English teacher in SK Kunak 2, I've been teaching there for 8 years, and I think it wasn't easy. It isn't easy. My Jimmy knows that I struggled a lot in order I struggled a lot as an English teacher. Then with the parents, for me and also for the English parents, I learned that in order for us to be successful, especially within the school context, it can't be a one-man show. I can't do it alone. I'm the head of the English panel, but I can't shoulder all the burdens alone. We need collaborations, we need cooperation from other people. And most of the time, we fail to we forgot to involve the parents. I fail to realize how important their roles are in helping us to achieve what we want to achieve. So